History of Israel and Palestine conflict is a very complicated issue. It is not easy to define or to describe that what went wrong. But even though the situation has been so complicated, and yet the solution has not been found out of this conflict, and we get to see the various human rights violations that has been going on in this region. In order to know that what went wrong, we should also start from how the whole issue began. If we look into the history that how the entire Israel Palestine issue had started, it began from two nationalism, one the Zionism and the other the Arab nationalism. Arab nationalisms were looking to establish Arabic state in Palestine, while the Zionists, or better to say the Jewish nationalism, were looking to establish a Jewish state in Palestine. The reason of this is how the very seed of the conflict has been sown. When both the nationalisms were seeking to establish their homeland in Palestine, entered Britain in the scene. Britain in the Balfour Declaration had recognized to establish the Jewish state in Palestine. Similarly, as per the Hussein McMahon correspondence, it was basically a series of letters that had been written between these two gentlemen. Britain seemed to promise that there would be an establishment of the Arab state in Palestine. Now, as Britain ended up promising both of these people that each one of them would be getting Palestine as their homeland, the trouble had actually started. As about the Balfour Declaration and the Britain's acceptance of the fact that that the Jewish would be getting Palestine as their homeland, the Arabs did not see this as a very good sign, and they were not happy about it, and thus it ended up in riot. So, to end the riot, Peel Commission had been established. So, the Peel Commission was a royal commission of inquiry to the Palestine group, headed by Lord Robert Peel, which was appointed by the British government. This Peel Commission was established to find out the root cause of the conflict and the unrest between Arabs and the Jews. Lastly, Peel Commission suggested that the Palestine should be divided into three states. Number one, a Jewish state. Number two, Arab state. And number three, an independent state which would include the holy place. When the riot had slowly calmed down, then this commission had been rejected by a new white paper. When the riot slowed down, British government had rejected the Peel Commission, and it suggested that Palestine would neither be a Jewish state nor be an Arab state. It would rather be independent, and it is going to achieve its independence within 10 years. In 1947, British government decided to take the issue to the United Nations, as the matter had been escalated. UN had set up a special committee on Palestine, and it went on to Palestine and talked with the common people. and they came up with a plan. The plan was that the entire state would be divided into two halves. One would be called as the Jewish state and the other would be called as the Palestine or the Arab state. But this had not been accepted by the Palestinians because they believed that the Palestinians were only given 45% of the land, while the Jewish population had been given the rest, the 55% of the land. And from here it can said that the Israel and Palestinians had been fighting for very long time. In 1947, British government decided to take the issue to the United Nations as the matter had been escalated. UN had set up a special committee on Palestine and it went on to Palestine and talked with the common people, and they came up with a plan. The plan was that the entire state would be divided into two halves. One would be called as the Jewish state and the other would be called as the Palestine or the Arab state. But this had not been accepted by the Palestinians because they believed that the Palestinians were only given 45% of the land, while the Jewish population had been given the rest, the 55% of the land. And from here it can said that the Israel and Palestinians had been fighting for very long time. Until now, these two communities had been fighting for so long, and I don't think that I need to mention about the human rights issues that had been a very challenging issue in this region. It is interesting to note that how Britain's promise to both the nations that they would be going to establish their own homeland in Palestine, that ended up in creating a new conflict which is very unlikely to be solved. So this is the end of the part 1 of the Israel-Palestine issue. I know that this issue is very complicated. Even when I was explaining it to you, it is very complicated because the topic is so vast. To grasp the topic and to explain the topic is very difficult. So next time when I will be talking about the Israel-Palestine issue, I will bring up the conflict, that is present conflict that is going on. It is just the beginning. More episodes is going to come. So if you like my video, then please click on the like button, share, subscribe, and write the comment below that whether you like my episode or not.